What's going on here with the migrant crisis? What do people think about the migrants here inside Chicago?
On some real shit, I think they need to go on back where they at, Joe. We ain't got enough room for them right now.
And where should they go?
Shit, somewhere where's room for them at. Even if it's back to where they at or another little city. But Chicago too packed, man. We already got a lot going on.
What do you think about them giving them free hotels, free phones?
That's what I'm saying. They treating them better than real residents. Like, they giving them shit that they ain't give us. And we born and raised in Chicago. They come here giving them $15,000 in their name, a GN link, all type of shit. I'm damn. But you got homeless people sleeping on the street. You know, they fucked up, but y'all bringing people in, treating them better than motherfuckers who from Chicago. I don't like that, though.
What's your direct message to Mayor Johnson, then?
Man, fix this. Get this shit together, bro. Help the city. Don't just be all talk. You talk that talk to get in there, live it. Stand on business.
Okay, so the Democrats, they're having their big event in Chicago in a couple of weeks, like 3 weeks or so, 3-4 weeks. And it's kind of odd that they picked Chicago because it is a Democrat stronghold. It is filled with leftists, and they don't really have much to gain from Chicago unless they're thinking that having that big event is going to spread to Michigan, Wisconsin, areas like that. But they're facing some challenges because not only is Chicago one of the biggest murder cities, biggest crime hellholes, where to date in 2024 you have over 300 murders already in Chicago. They also have a massive illegal immigration issue. So the DNC has these big challenges. The Democrat leaders in Chicago have this thing called ShotSpotter, where if police aren't there, this technology can detect a gunshot and send police to the scene, which can help with crime, which could help with the murders. But they said it was racist. They said having ShotSpotter there was causing black people to be arrested because they were illegally using guns, killing people. But that's a different story. They wanted to get rid of ShotSpotter because it was racist, but they realized the DNC was coming and they needed to impress Barack Obama and the leaders of the Democrat Party. So even though it's racist, they left it there. But like I said, I can make a whole video just about that alone. Now they have thousands of illegal immigrants there. We already know that Greg Abbott has been busting them all over the country: Denver, LA, DC, Martha's Vineyard, Chicago. And the people in Chicago have been dealing with hell because they've put these illegal immigrants in the lower income neighborhoods, in majority black neighborhoods where those black people just sit there and take it. Some of them bitch and cry, but at the end of the day, they turn around and support the Democrats who are doing that to them. But they got hit with so many of them that they didn't have room for them. They didn't know what to do with them. I did videos where we seen these illegal immigrants in a Chicago airport laid all out right there on the walkway in front of everybody, crowding in police stations. One of the police captains kicked them out in the cold. We've seen them laid around at bus stations. The shelters are disease filled. It's just been all types of crap going on. And the DNC, the Democrats, are worried that, damn, this is going to affect us. We can't have this. We need to make sure that Chicago looks pristine. We need to make sure it looks perfect because we got people to impress. We got a bunch of globalists, communists coming in, socialists coming in to impress. So we can't have these illegal immigrants all over the place. So Chicago has spent the last several months doing their best, probably last year, doing their absolute best to get rid of them, to hide them. So a lot of these illegal immigrants have left. They're from Latin America, and when they got hit with that Chicago winter, a lot of them said, oh crap, we need to get out of here. I'm going to go to Florida. I'm going to go to California. So many of them left Chicago. And on top of that, Chicago got a lot of them out of the shelters, out of the police stations, and put them in apartments. They put them on regular Chicago welfare with added benefits because many of them, they got 6 months free rent in some apartment. On top of that, they get food stamps and all other welfare like the normal Chicagoans. But they've been trying to beautify the city. In fact, let's look at this headline here. Streets closing, security checkpoints, tree trimming, flower planting is going to start looking a lot like the DNC. So like I said, they're putting in a lot of work to impress these communists, their fellow communists who are coming in from across the world. The Democrat National Convention takes place on August 19th to the 22nd, but street closings and bus transit detours began days earlier, and the sprucing up is already underway. It's bullshit because it took the convention for them to fix it up, said Henry Horner Homes resident Tracy Johnson of the Improvements. So Henry Horner Homes, that's a project complex, some projects right outside of where the DNC will be. And we know damn well there's going to be a lot of police, a lot of security at that place because these Democrats who claim to hate police, who want to defund the police, who say police are racist, the white man, there's going to be a whole lot of white man police officers right at that project area and all over Chicago to make sure that Obama and the communists are safe and happy with what's going on there. So they're trying to beautify the city. They're hiding the illegal immigrants. Some of them left the city. A lot of them are receiving a whole lot of welfare. So they're out of sight, out of mind. But what the DNC is worried about now is this surge. There's a possible major surge of illegal immigrants. Some are saying up to 25,000. I don't know if it's going to be that high because I think over the last 2 years it's been about 40,000 or so. But some are projecting up to 25,000 can hit Chicago alone. And we have a couple of factors that could be causing this. But let's look at this news clip real quick.
With the Democratic National Convention fast approaching, Chicagoans are bracing for the possibility of a large influx of migrants over the next few weeks.
But it's not clear just how many could arrive. WGN's Julian Cruz is at City Hall with more.
Good evening. Chicago's Deputy Mayor of Immigration pointing to unofficial projections, pointing to a potential maximum influx of up to 25,000 migrants between now and the start of the Democratic National Convention in August. But City Hall telling us that there is no evidence or indication at this time that the numbers will be that high.
To me, it's really heartbreaking. I'm Ecuadorian, and a lot of the migrants these days are coming from Ecuador.
I do wish there was more that could be done to help them out.
Many Chicagoans we talked to acutely aware of the city's migrant situation.
We have a pretty robust shelter system right now, 17 shelters.
Chicago's Deputy Mayor of Immigrant, Migrant, and Refugee Rights, Beatriz Ponce de Leon, says the city is ready.
If we were to max out our existing shelter capacity, we have a plan in place to open what we're calling just-in-time beds.
And those buses will continue to roll until we finally secure our border.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott last week in Milwaukee making his intentions clear to continue busing migrants to sanctuary cities like Chicago.
I took the border to them.
It's a political stunt, and it is really dehumanizing to those involved.
Next month's Democratic National Convention, an inviting target for Abbott and his fellow Republicans protesting Biden administration border policies. But that policy at the moment, Ponce de Leon explains, putting limits on asylum seekers.
We know that we can't control the actions of Governor Abbott. We also can't control the number of people that are coming here.
Chicago's landing zone at Polk and Dis Plains bustling with migrants just a year ago, but the steady flow has slowed to a trickle. As of today, the city of Chicago reporting there are just over 5,600 residents at active city and state shelters.
We need the federal government to step up a little bit better in order to allow for people that want to work.
Alderman Gilbert Villegas says this time around he believes the city is ready for whatever comes.
Back in 2022, we were flying the plane while we were building it. I think we've gotten a lot better now.
Legal challenges to Biden's border policy could shake things up if a judge strikes down the executive order. Those possible challenges, the city says, likely to come in the fall.
So one of the major factors in this possible surge is what's happening in Venezuela. So Maduro, the president, there's a lot of controversy behind this, but he was just reelected. We got a lot of Venezuelans across the country and in Chicago, thousands of them in Chicago. They're walking around Chicago protesting. They're waiting on the DNC to start because they're going to be at the DNC protesting. We're talking about illegal immigrants from Venezuela. They're protesting because they want free stuff and they want change in Venezuela. They're in Chicago demanding change in Venezuela. On top of that, they're receiving all types of freebies. But let's look at a clip here to get a little insight as to what's going on.
Is election day in Venezuela, where the outcome of that election could result in ripple effects that could affect thousands of Venezuelan migrants here in Chicago. Let's get live to our Andrew Ramos. He's live from the Mag Mile, where a rally was held earlier today, bringing attention to this critical election around here, Andrew.
That's right, Chris, and many of those local Venezuelans who came out say they were really coming out to support friends and family back home, as they say there is so much riding on this election where it will very likely determine if people decide to leave or stay in their homeland. Now, many of those who turned out Sunday came in support of the opposition leader, Edmundo Gonzalez, who they hope will end the 12-year rule of President Nicolas Maduro. Now, there have been growing concerns over voter fraud and whether they'll be able to have a fair and free election. Now, Maduro's 2018 re-election was considered by many, including the United States, as fraudulent. Now, the current president and his United Socialist Party of Venezuela has become incredibly unpopular in recent years, as many citizens blame his policies for unlivable wages, widespread hunger, and a crippling economy. It's the reason why millions have fled the country. Now, of the 45,000 new arriving migrants that have relocated to Chicago are from Venezuela. Now, depending on who wins this election, some say will determine whether those migrants return to their home country or if more decide to leave. One thing most of the local Venezuelans can agree on, they want change.
Today, we're fed up. There's 8.9 million Venezuelans that have left Venezuela and have migrated all over the world to find a better life. Many of them have not been able to find a better life. As a matter of fact, many of them have died trying to find a better life. So today, we really want these elections to happen in the most pacific way possible, the most democratic way possible, for us to find the freedom that Venezuela deserves.
Now, polls have now closed in Venezuela, with the results of this presidential election expected as early as tonight or in the next couple of days.
So this was right before the Venezuela election. They were out there saying that they want their candidate to win. They're supporting their guy. They got signs for him. Free Venezuela. Maduro is a terrible person. All types of stuff. They're in Chicago trying to talk about the election in South America. But remember, these people are receiving all types of freebies. But either way, it looks like Maduro has won, even though his opposition is saying that he won. Like I said, there's a lot of controversy. I could do a whole video about that. But the result for Chicago will be a surge in illegal immigrants. A lot of them in Venezuela are going to flee. They're going to continue to flee. Not only do you have the everyday people who are just trying to get the hell out of Dodge because they don't like living there, you also have the gang members. They got super gangs like in New York, like in Miami. They're establishing strongholds, these operations, these gang operations going on. In Chicago is a place. So this could be another excuse to get a surge of gang members who are going to come to the border seeking asylum. They're going to go to Chicago and they're going to boost up their gang operations. This is happening. On top of that, we're entering peak migrant season where we have these caravans coming in. It slows down during the fall and winter, starts picking up in the spring and summertime. We have massive caravans start to build throughout the summer, come up, and they go to places like Chicago and get all types of freebies off the backs of the sucker taxpayers in Chicago. And in addition to that, we got Biden leaving office. Kamala Harris is probably not going to win, and these illegal immigrants are afraid that Trump is going to get in office and close the border. So with the controversy in Venezuela and the fear that Trump is going to close the border, these people are going to start rushing to the border, especially after November when these immigrants hear news that Trump has won. There's going to be a major surge. But during the summer, a lot of people are already worried. A lot of illegal immigrants are worried. So they're going to start surging. And let's look at this article here. I'm not going to read it, just going to skim through it. A group of 2,000 migrants advanced through southern Mexico in hopes of reaching the U.S. So these are the alleged asylum seekers. Now, all of these people are in Latin America. We got Chinese, we got Middle Eastern, we got Africans, people from all over the world, because they know that these Democrats are suckers. And all you got to do is claim, oh, I'm seeking asylum. People in my country are mean to me. Let me in and put me on welfare. And that's what happens. So you got a couple of thousand of them. Mexico was trying to make it hard for them to enter southern Mexico, but they're just surging through. And the way it works is you start off with a couple of hundred, and as they move north the caravan starts to swell larger and larger. You end up with several thousand of them. On top of that, you have activists, including activists from the United States, who are helping these people. They're helping them with food, water, transportation. They're helping them with information. No, you need to go here. Okay, this is the best entry point. This is the best stopping point to rest in Mexico. Once you reach the U.S. border, you need to go this direction. You need to say this and that specifically to Border Patrol in order to get that asylum. So these people know exactly what they're doing, and they're headed right to Chicago, right to New York, places like that. Look at this right here. They fear that if Donald Trump wins, he will follow through on a promise to close the border to asylum seekers. So does this have anything to do with actual asylum, with actual violence, persecution in your country, which is what asylum laws refer to begin with? It seems like these people are taking advantage. In fact, let's look at this sentence right here. Tired of waiting. Where is it? Right here. Carlos Pineda, a Salvadorian migrant who left his country because he couldn't find work, said that there were about 30 people organizing a group but did not provide further details. Couldn't find work. So you're seeking asylum because you can't find a job? How the hell does that work? These people are taking advantage of the suckers, United States. These people are going to come to the United States and get all types of freebies. And on top of that, along with these people, mixed in with these people, you got people trying to find work. You got people trying to get freebies, but you also have gang members. And these people in Chicago are full-blown suckers. But the DNC is going to try to hide it because they don't want to be embarrassed. It'll be funny as hell if they do get a massive surge right there. I'm pretty sure the left-wing media is going to try to hide it. They're not going to show any of the images to the public, but too bad, so sad, because we got Twitter and social media, so we're going to see plenty of it. But it'll be funny as hell if they do get a massive surge. So let me know what you guys think about this. Leave me your thoughts below, share the video. Thanks for watching.